welcome to a special edition of Cooking with Batman. Today I will be cooking a lasagna. The reason? That Joker guy had a verbal confrontation with me and declared that he could make a better lasagna than me. I say, bring it on. First thing I'm gonna do, wash my hands. I just want to let you guys know that when making a lasagna, the most important part of it is going to be to make a good sauce. The sauce is just about everything when it comes to your lasagna. So please be certain to pay extra special care, and I'll give you some hints and tips along the way. So the first thing that I have here is just under 2 pounds of ground beef. It's a little beef heavy for me, but you know what? That's okay. I still like lots of beef. So we're just going to take this and we're going to put it, boom, into a pot. And there's a reason that we're putting the beef in there first. We're putting the beef in there first because when you put your spices on meat, it keeps it from doing the clumpy thing. So when you have your sauce, it's going to smooth right out. I'll show you that coming up. Next, mild Italian sausage. That's right, don't get ground pork, get mild Italian sausage. Just take a knife, just cut these things open. There we go. They're so good too. Just peel it right out, take off your little skins, and you can just chuck your skins anyway. It doesn't matter, assuming you have Alfred to clean up after you, it's all good. Open up the next one. There we go. Three more to go. Cut this one open. And the thing about mild Italian sausage is you can really smell the spices coming off of it. They're pre-spiced for you in an Italian fashion for an Italian dish, which works out very nicely to our benefit. So we're just going to go ahead and finish off this last sausage here. There we go. Very nice. Now, remember what I was saying about your meat sticking together? I could mash it and mash it and mash it, but as soon as I apply heat, it's all going to start to adhere to itself again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my ingredients. First of all, let's start off with the paprika. Lots of paprika. This is going to dry this stuff right out. You're almost dehydrating your meat with spices before you go on. Our next spice, we're going to put some oregano. Oregano, very important. I use it in a lot of my recipes. And don't be afraid to be putting a lot in here. You're going to have a lot of food, so you have to use a lot of spice. Next up, basil. I try to keep my basil and oregano about equal. So put that in there. Now, parsley. You know what's great about parsley? When people bite into your sauce, it's going to retain most of its color. Even though there's paprika and everything else, it's got a rich green color, and people are going to look at your sauce and say, that's nice. Next, we're going to add some sage. Sage is good. Don't go too heavy on that. Just put a little. It's good stuff. It's really fine. We got some thyme here. Just, there we go. Just a few thyme seeds in there. Some of these spices are a little stronger, like the marjoram. So let's pick that one up next. Here's our marjoram. You can put about the same amount as a thyme. And lastly, we're going to put some rosemary in there. Rosemary has a nice fragrance. It's going to make everything come out good. This is one of those recipes where you have to put your spices in there, and since you're cooking it for so long, they're going to break down. Unfortunately, I will not be putting any bay leaves in here because it's a lasagna. People can't pick at it the same way that they could with the spaghetti sauce. So you don't want to put any bay leaves in there, or it could get lodged on people and they're going to, blah, what did I just bite into? That sort of thing. So now we're going to want to mush this meat around. Just chop it all up. I know it was already ground up, but it was still all kind of put together, right? I'll just take this off because it wants to come off. Take off the other. Good cooking doesn't need armor, I always say. Now, you may be wondering, where's the garlic, Batman? This is an Italian dish. Where's the garlic? I'll tell you where the garlic is. The garlic is your final garnish. at the end, after everything's done, after it's been served, you will put some garlic on top. Normally I like to mix all my ingredients in, but when it comes to the garlic, I really want people to smell it. I want people to know that this is an Italian dish and that it was cooked by me. They'll know it was cooked by me because they're going to smell the garlic. Just like I told you right there. So, your meat is fairly well divided. If you need a little more dried out, you can paprika the shit out of it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, next up, we're going to add tomato paste. Using a butter knife, you'll be able to get most of it out of the can right on your first shot. Don't let any stick to the sides there. That's 1. 2. And for the flavor of the tomato paste, your own choice. I prefer to avoid garlic flavored tomato paste for the same reason I just said. I like to put all my garlic on at the very end. The only exception to that is any garlic that might be in the mild Italian sausage. There we go. And whenever you're cooking with tomato paste, you should also be using about an equal amount of water. So we're going to take our water, we're going to pour it right into the can here. There we go. And that's going to help us not waste any of that tomato paste. There's 1. And now for the other. There we go. Scrape it all off. There's the tomato paste. You mix that around a little bit, get it right in between the meat. That's great. Now I'm going to let you know that once you've made this, it's going to cook for about 3 hours. 4 hours might be even better because it's going to soften up any of the herbs that you put in there. The thyme can be a little bit rough if you don't cook it long enough, but that's why leftover lasagna tastes better. Next we're going to add our diced tomatoes. Again, I don't have the pre-spiced ones. I prefer to spice everything all by myself. Take this. Take this. Spread that around. That's gonna be some good sauce. Now I do have one final secret ingredient that I use in my lasagna sauce. Not just the lasagna, the sauce. And I want to share that with you right now. What I have here is feta. It's just under 1 pound of feta. I drained away the brine. And I'm just going to take that and push it right in there like that. Voila! This is the start to your sauce. As needed, you can always add just a little more water as you go. It depends if you keep it covered or not. If you keep it covered, you won't need to add any more water to it. If you're going to uncover it often to stir, as you should, you may have to add another glass of water in there just to make sure that it doesn't steam off, get too thick, burn to the bottom, etc. So, I want you to cook this now, 3 to 4 hours, and if you don't mind a mess, you can let it boil lightly, a soft boil, none of this high heat shit. So, I will see you when this is done, and I'll show you how to layer out your lasagna. Welcome back, it's been about 4 hours. This has given the spices time to soften up. Same thing with the tomatoes, things have settled down, I've added some water, I've stirred, everything's going beautifully. So, first thing we're going to do, turn off our stove, and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. That's 180 degrees if you're going Celsius. There we go, we've removed our sauce. We don't need the gloves, we don't need the arm guards anymore, and it's time to start sorting this out. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our oven-ready noodles. I find that they work better than the other kind because they're a lot more stable in what you're trying to do. And you have to have a very set way of doing this. We're going to put down a layer of noodles, And then a layer of sauce. If you have any really broken noodles, don't use them, save them for the end. A couple of minor chips are okay, nobody's going to notice. Roll up the sleeves for this part. So oven-ready noodles take maybe an hour to do in the oven, but it's going to be less than that because we're actually going to be adding the sauce to it, and the sauce is hot. So we're going to add our layer of sauce. There we go. See that nice light color in there? That's not the pork. That's the feta cheese. We're actually going to need most of this sauce for this lasagna. There we go. Notice how I broke down all of the lumps in the meat, so it's actually spreading like a true paste. A little bit there, there. Try to fill in all the gaps. Don't be too picky, because when you put down your next layer of noodles, which is immediate, it's going to flatten everything out for you. And there's a lot more sauce where that came from. So, next up, pay attention, because the layering is the magic part. Another layer of noodles. Yes. Oven-ready noodles that are currently cooking. They're cooking right now. There we go. Alright. And the next part, we're going to take our ricotta. We're going to spread that down just like we did with the sauce. Probably going to need a full container for this layer. Maybe even a little bit more. So make sure you've got lots. I've got 4 containers of ricotta. I'm expecting to have a little bit of leftover, but if I don't, that's okay too. And the oven's ready, but I'm not. If it's not spreading well, you know what that means? Add more ricotta. There we go. Try to spread it too thin, it's not going to work for you, and you won't get that proper flavoring. There. A little more there. There. Just like with the saucy layers, when you put down the next layer of noodles, it's going to fix everything for you. So. Okay, looks like I'm not going to have any leftover ricotta whatsoever. That's good. That means I won't leave anything for Robin to snoop on. There we go. Empty this out. Anything more is good. Ta-da! Next, now pay attention, it's happening again. Another layer of noodles. That box is empty. Next box of noodles. Let's go. One, two. That's it right there. And now we need another layer of sauce. Now this sauce is nice and hearty, so even if you're not a big sauce person, this is going to taste more like a chili. A really delicious, best chili you've ever had without the beans kind of chili. Yeah. Look at that. Give it a little spread around with the back of your ladle. And I have to tell you one thing. Your lasagna is actually going to taste better as leftovers than it is on its first day. True story. There we go. Next up, pay attention, noodles. Now we're starting to use a few broken ones here. Not too much of a big deal. And a noodle. And a noodle. Now let's break into another package of ricotta. Now we know that this is going to take both fully, so just go ahead and spread it all over the place like such. Just get it out of there. And another package of ricotta. Mmm. Oh, did I mention this is full flavor? There's no holding back. If you're using low-fat ricotta, you're doing it wrong, so don't do it. Same goes for the feta, same goes for your pork, same goes for your beef. Oh yes. Paint it. Just paint it. As long as it's somewhat even, when you put your next layer down, everything's going to work out just fine. You may be more of a perfectionist than I am, but this is lasagna. Nobody's going to see the insides. So, now we have some broken noodles. We're going to put one there, and put that one there. That one's full, that one's full, that one's full. Here's the other piece to that one. We'll fit that together. Put that one there. Look at that. This is actually working out very nicely. Like that. And because we have a little crack there, we take this one, we could probably just slide it under. There we go. A little extra noodle there. Then we're gonna scoop up our sauce that we're running out of. We're gonna put some sauce on here. Look at that, hiding all the fact that there's broken noodles, incomplete layers. It's all being coated with delicious, delicious flavoring. And this, by the way, is going to be the best lasagna you've ever had. It will taste better than a restaurant. It will taste better than Grandma's. You can call this Batman's lasagna. Just scoop every last bit. Ta-da! You'd think that I portioned it out perfectly somehow. Oh no, an open layer. Whatever shall we do? It's time to cheese this thing up. Now, a nice thick layer of mozzarella is good. You'll probably have some leftover. If you have leftover mozzarella, you can watch Cooking with Batman, the poutine, to find a good use for it. And the beautiful thing about lasagna is it will not stick to the bottom of your pan. It's a lasagna noodle. Voila! Leftovers for poutine, all out of sauce, all out of ricotta, the feta's gone. All of our ingredients except for a little bit left over right here for the mozzarella cheese have been used up. Here's your next instruction. Put this in the oven, leave it there for 40-45 minutes, and then blast it onto broil until the cheese develops a flavor crisp on top. Let's do that right now. Looks like I'll need a glove first. There we go. I've had to remove something else from the oven first, and we'll put this in. I'll see you in about 45 minutes. So, it's been about 45 minutes, and now is the broiling time. So, what we're going to do is we're going to set it to broil on high, start, and we're going to watch the broiling process at super high speed, and we'll watch it go down. And then we'll take it out of the oven and show it to you. And that's that. So let's turn that off. Get your oven mitties on. Open it up. Ooh, that's a hot oven with all that broiling going on. Pull this out. Ta-da! Our lasagna is complete. And it's beautiful. Simply beautiful. It's probably a little soft right now, but what I can do is see if I can cut out a little square here. This tiny little rectangle that I've cut out, but I can't scoop out because it's still soft, is probably about 400 or 500 calories. So, you know it's full of flavor. If you think you can make a better lasagna than me, bring it on. Make a video. I don't want to see any comments. I want to see a video, and you have to tell me what's in it, and we'll see whose is better. Bon appetit! Dinner is served for the next week.